let's just say you're Chris Ballard. You fall in love with Jonathan Taylor. Who didn't? Who wouldn't? He blossoms into what he blossomed into. Last year was last year. We all know what the hell is going on there last year. And now the kid demands a trade, steps onto the luxury bus, the owner. Clearly that things didn't go very well there. Zach Moss breaks his arm. What is going on through his skull right now, do you think, Lewis?
What's going on through JT's mind?
No, in Chris Ballard's mind. Put me in the mind of the general manager.
Right. You said that's right. I'm sorry.
Yes, sir.
I was fixated on what you were saying about Jonathan.
Yes, sir.
If you're Chris Ballard, you're just like, are you bleeping kidding me? That's what's going on in his mind. Like the one guy who, obviously, last year Jonathan gets banged up in his ankle and all. So, but Jonathan is by far their best player. He's the best player, the best person. He's an A-plus kid. You know how. I mean, Jonathan Taylor is the salt of the earth, man.
Yeah.
So now he's hurt, and now he's at odds with the organization and wants to be traded. And he's feeling like all the other running backs going, they're just going to use me up, make excuses for why they can't pay me because I'm a workhorse anyway, so they're really going to use me up. I'm going to get banged up, and I'm going to be ticked off like every other running back. And if you're Chris Ballard, you're going, look, I get the business part, Rich. I always get the business part. I get the player part too. And with him right now, all the good feeling this offseason of, all right, you're starting new, you get a new office, you got Shane Steichen, he gets Anthony Richardson. You start having visions of Shane doing what he did with Jalen, and I can do this here. I've got Michael Pittman, I've got Alec Pierce. I've got Isaiah McKenzie. I got Jelani Woods, who's a stud. I'm going to get this offensive line back on track. We're going to be multiple. And now my best player is Warren with us on social media and talking about he wants to get traded. That's how stuff can flip on you so fast and all. And if I'm him, and he knows he's in a I don't want to say a make or break year, man, but at some point in time, you got to figure the heat's going to start really coming down on him, considering the kind of investments he has made in certain individual players there, the kind of bets that they organizationally have made on certain players that didn't turn out, how weird last year was with Jeff going in there Saturday and being it's just a weird situation. And now here you have another weird situation with your best player. Jonathan Taylor has never been involved in anything controversial in his entire life.
I know, and that's why it's so out of character here, Lewis. So do you knock on the...
It shows you how toxic it is, man.
Do you know...
That's how toxic it's become.
But do you knock on the bus door? And again, I don't know the sense of, negotiations, but, hey, Jim, you once let Andrew Luck walk with $25 million of your money as a retirement gift, even though he left us in the lurch here.
Right.
Let's say I offer Jonathan a 2-year extension, and it's 12 million per. It's more than the franchise tag that's going to be, and we at least give him that. He saves face. We got our best player. Let's go. I don't know why we're in these positions with running backs who are all A-plus people. Saquon, Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler. These guys are spilling their guts out on the field. Henry, who actually is getting paid, but.
You know what happens, Rich, honestly? And I don't say this because you know what's happening. Whenever I say something like I'm about to say, people go, oh, man, you're just mad. You're sour. You didn't get the job at the Giants. You didn't get the job here. That's why you're saying this. But this is what happens. General managers, front office people, they really do think that it's them all the time. I'm smarter than everyone else. I have all the answers with these guys. These guys are just interchangeable commodities, especially when we're talking about running back. Just look, history's on our side. Look at all the guys we can find, second round and lower, free agent types. Look what Brett Veach did with Isaiah Pacheco. Look at what he maybe found this year in undrafted free agent Deneric Prince out of Tulsa. This happening all over the league, these running backs. We don't need to, from a business perspective, extend ourselves. But as I've also said, and I get that mentality a little bit, I do, because I understand that it's a business. But it's also a business of people. And you're right. You're absolutely right. When you're talking about a guy like Jonathan, that kind of kid in particular, and I know him very well, and that's why I will go out and extend myself a little bit more about this one.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's so damn reliable as a person, as a player, I would be willing to say, hey, you know what? Although my job is to minimize risk to the club, play for future performance, pay for future performance projections, I'm not going to factor in that, the kind of wear and tear he has already. I'm not going to factor in the ankle injury or nothing. I'm also going to take into account how we have used this kid already and what he's done for us already, and I'm going to reward him a little bit for that too. And I'm not going to let everything else going on with everyone else in this running back market sway me. I'm not going to take calls and get on the phone with my other GM buddies or team president buddies or other ownership buddies and go, hey, man, can you believe what's going on with Jonathan? Like, you guys didn't pay so-and-so, but we're going to hold the line too. Because that stuff happens too. I would just say I would put myself in my room and get with Jonathan and his reps and go, look, unless there's something I don't know, I'd be like, look, I'm gonna hook you up. I'm going to take care of you because of what you've meant to this organization, what you mean to this city, what you mean to this franchise, what you mean to your teammates. And what I still believe, especially with this new coaching staff, this new quarterback that we have, and the new direction we're going in, I believe there's a lot of good carries left in you. I would do that. And I would be the first to say, and I'm going to say it now, my personal feelings would come into play with a kid like this. They would, because of how I feel about him. And you know what? That may burn me. It may be one of those situations where people come back and they roast me like they roast Dallas for paying Ezekiel Elliott and call it one of the worst contract extensions ever, blah, blah. But I wouldn't give a damn. Not with a kid like this. Because like we just said and we agreed upon, Jonathan Taylor has never been involved in anything controversial in his life. And he's tweeting now about the discrepancy, the difference in stories about his back and all this stuff. For him to do that, he's pissed off.
Know, right?
And he feels like somebody is lying on him and trying to make him look bad. And that is just, look, yeah, it's business, but that's bad business, dude. You do not want kids like that, young men like that, feeling that way about you.
Louis.
So, yeah, I would do a deal that maybe hurts me in the long run, maybe it doesn't. But you know what? As you just said, it ain't like it ain't been done before for other people. So I definitely would for him.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.